Hello all and welcome back to another video. My name is Neil Henry and I'm an engineer which helps businesses with AI automations to help them enhance their daily workflows. So in today's video, I want to talk about how you can summarize a deposition transcript utilizing AI in under a minute, which reduces the general process of going through the transcript, finding all the inconsistencies, admissions, etc., and narrows this down to where you could get it all done in less than a minute. So what I have here, before I even show you this, generally speaking, a deposition transcript, it could be anywhere from 40 to 70 pages, sometimes even longer. And to sit there and go through that transcript, find all the inconsistencies, admissions, timeline of events, this is a very manual, long process. So what I've created here is an article explaining how you could utilize AI to really reduce the time that this would take you and get you the overall end same net result. So in other tab here, you can see I have a deposition transcript. This is between Maria Elena Torres and Midland Trucking Co., who had the driver Brian T. Kowalski. And this is just a sample deposition transcript. The lengths of the transcript could be very variable, but it just highlights the whole transcript recording of what was said in the deposition. So what I'm going to show you next is, here's the article. We're going to go through everything in implementation, but first I'm going to actually show you utilizing the AI tool, which is embedded here in the blog post and will be linked down below in the description of the video. We're going to upload this file right here, and it's going to actually summarize everything for us, so you don't have to do that yourself. And just in general, always is important to proofread AI, but this will help do a lot of the brute work for you and save you a lot of time in the process, in a very short amount of time as well. So I'm going to click the upload file button here. You could also just type text here as well and then click summarize, but what I'm going to do is click the upload file button. This will open up your file explorer, and then you can upload your PDF document, your Word doc, your text file, whatever format you're using. You may not see it because I'm just sharing this specific screen window, but I'm just going to click the PDF in my file explorer and then upload it into here. So when that's uploaded, it's going to just fill in the text here in the text box, and that contains all the contents of this deposition transcript Kowalski PDF file. So after that, you could go here, add any additional information just by typing in, making some adjustments if you need to. And then all you have to do is click the summarize button. And then it's just going to take a little bit of time to process, and we'll see the output in no more than 40 seconds. Sometimes it can generate in 5 seconds, sometimes it takes a little bit longer. And a lot of this is dependent on this, how we're using, you can utilize Anthropic, OpenAI models for LLMs, and it's the exact same prompting, which I'll get to implementation right afterwards. So you can see here that the pipeline just completed, and here is our overall report. It includes the date, a count of admissions, inconsistencies, and key points. It's going to summarize the key testimony of exactly what happened. It's going to show the admissions, his inconsistencies and what he recalled, the timeline of events, evasive or incomplete answers, and as I said, always a disclaimer that with AI, it does a good job, but there is a small risk of hallucination, and it's very important to always check over and utilize this just as a tool at your disposal rather than a replacement. So there is the report, and pretty much you could take this and save this for your own use. And it highlights, as I said, all the key points and summarizes his entire transcript. So now I want to kind of explain to you the overall implementation of this. So if you can see right here, For this specific pipeline, we're following a 4-step sequence with 2 AI steps, which are step 1 and step 2. I say 4 because input and output I consider steps. So input would just be when you're uploading the file, right? So here we upload the file, the deposition transcript Kowalski PDF, or you could type in the text box and it inputs it here, and then you click here. Right now it's just to reset, but you would click the summarize transcript button, which appeared here before. That's step 1, input. Afterwards, we break it down into 2 steps. One AI call is going to actually extract the testimony, all the key facts, admissions, and flags. And in step 2, we're going to actually structure that into JSON format. JSON format, I've explained this in previous videos, but it's just a specific format to structure data in. So if you're integrating this into your programmatic workflow, you could actually parse the data from that JSON format and then utilize it accordingly. Without a JSON format, there's no standardized structure, and what you're left with is just text without. But if you're implementing this into an existing pipeline or flow, it's best to have it in a structure such as JSON. There's other structures as well, but JSON is just a very standardized structure for doing these type of things. And then the final would just be the output being this summary which you saw below with all the key points such as admissions, inconsistencies, timeline, evasive or incomplete answers, etc. So now I want to actually show you. So as I said, input is the first step where you input your file. It does its first AI call to extract the testimony using the output from step 1. That passes another AI call to step 2, which then structures that that summary into a JSON format. And afterwards, we utilize that JSON format to output you the deposition transcript summary. So now I want to show you exactly how we're prompting for those 2 AI steps. So I've already talked about this in a lot of videos, and you may see this as a repeat point, but generally speaking, when you AI prompt, you want to always impersonate who you want the AI to take on the role of. In this case, you are a litigation assistant. And then afterwards, you're just saying exactly what the litigation assistant or that specific role is doing. And then afterwards, you want to describe exactly how they do that. So first is who, then what, then how. So the how is to extract and know clearly, and with the witness name and any identifying information, the case name and deposition date if stated, the 8 to 12 most important pieces of the testimony, a chronological timeline, admissions, inconsistencies, missing and unclear information. And then also, because this is not up for interpretation, this needs to be clear facts. Everything needs to be factual. This is why at the end we say be specific. Quote only directly where testimony is particularly important, and flag anything else which is useful for cross-examination or impeachment. And at the end, we want to include the transcript. So that's the first step. That will summarize everything in the transcript into the key findings by extracting information from the testimony. Afterwards, using that output from step 1, we're going to take that and produce a JSON object formatting, which, as I said, is that standardized structure. So you could incorporate this into existing workflows and organize it in a standardized way. So JSON is always denoted by these curly brackets. And then we have what's called key value pairs. Key is the first value, value is the second part. So witness name, deposition date, case name, key testimony, timeline, etc. are the keys. The values are what's to the right of the colon. So witness name will have a value, deposition date will have a value, case name will have a value, key testimony will have a value, and so on. And for each of these specific fields, we want to exactly describe what are the rules of how we populate that. So witness name will be the full name of the deponent. The deposition date is the date as written in the transcript, and so on. So we're actually defining how we want to output these fields in the JSON structural format. And then utilizing that, afterwards, all we do is, now we have the JSON format. You could incorporate this into your existing workflow. In the case of our free tool, which I provide here, which is also available for your use, we just take the data from that JSON format and then we display it below. And then you can copy and paste that however you need to use it for. So that's effectively it for the deposition transcript summary. This will definitely make a huge difference in the amount of time that it takes you to go through that transcript, find all the key facts, inconsistencies, admissions, and so on. And hopefully I helped you explain this process to you, exactly how the AI works, and how if you yourself wanted to implement an AI flow like this, you could. So if you're interested if you really like this video, make sure to like it, subscribe, and share. And if you're interested in talking with me, just visit my website. I'll have it linked down below in the description of the video. We can book a call, whether you're looking for custom solutions, consultation, just advice. We could hop on a call and I'll guide you along accordingly. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll have another video coming out soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.